Finals of the Men's FIVB Volleyball Nations League are being hosted here in Lille. This magnificent city playing host to the top 6 teams from the preliminary round. 6 teams started out, but now only 4 remain as we get ready for live coverage of the semi-finals from the Stade Pierre-Mauret. And we start things off with the host France taking on the USA. We're expecting a full house here for this one. It's filling up nicely. The teams arrived a little earlier, all looking in good spirits. They had an excellent victory to put themselves through to the semi-finals by beating Serbia. They needed to get 2 sets. They did that. They ended up winning 3-0. And now they have another tough test against the USA. This was them arriving for the fans. Laurent Tilly will be expecting his players to give their absolute best, just like John Spirou leading his team off with Micah Christensen. Matt Anderson, very much a key player for the USA, as well as captain David Smith. Aaron Russell may not start today, but if he does come on, he is a huge asset for them as an outside hitter. Maxwell Holt, huge middle blocker, and he's getting into the spirit of the finals. And Dustin Wharton, as ever, is one that the fans absolutely love. USA got their special welcome. Getting close to the fans as they made their way out onto centre court, stadium court. The teams going through the warm-up. They've all played here, and Engapeth knows that, well, this should be a time and an opportunity for him to shine, to play some great volleyball. John Spirou played his second 6 against Russia in their game yesterday. They were already through to the finals, to the semi-finals. They didn't have to worry about the result. This is how things have gone during the course of the finals here. Russia have been dominant, 3-1 against Poland, 3-0 against the USA. Brazil scraped through. They lost to France, but then they won. And knocked Serbia out in the process. And this was the game between Serbia and France. The second set had been done. They knew they were through. Tilly then could thoroughly relax and enjoy the third set. An unforced error from Kostic, giving France the victory. And as they did the cabine to celebrate, they knew that they were onwards and upwards in the finals, and then getting the crowd fully on board post-match. For the USA, it was all about their game over Poland. Aaron Russell, who delivered an excellent serve that gave the overpass for Matt Anderson to put the ball down, which secured their route to the semi-final at the expense of Poland and Vitel Heinen, who will now be building for the World Championships. Well, I'm delighted to be joined by Australia head coach Mark Lebedew. Mark, as we look at the lineups here, the semi-finals, arguably the 4 best teams have made it through.
Yeah, good afternoon, Clayton. It's great to be here again in Lille. I am really excited for today's games, and you're absolutely right. The 4 teams that are playing today have been the top 4 teams through the whole VNL. The format of the league makes it tough for the teams to play their absolute best in all of the 15 preliminary rounds, but these are the 4 teams that were able to play the closest for the most games. At their best, they're probably a level ahead of the other teams, and these games are all going to be evenly matched from here on in.
We just saw the coin toss that was done earlier. This is the head-to-head between the teams, and USA do have the advantage, 20 victories to 13 in all major competitions. And, well, it's not been all USA's way of late. In the VNL, France got the victory 3-2 in the preliminary rounds, and maybe just have the edge. Here are a couple of players to look out for.
since the retirement of the previous French opposite, Stefan Boy has really come into the game. He's came in really firing from the beginning. He's got better every year, and right now he's one of the top players in his position in the world. Aaron Russell is another young guy. He's only a couple of years with the national team, but he's really developed into one of the best outside hitters in the world. He's, for a big guy, he has great ball control, and he'll be another one to watch.
And then there are the liberos, the defensive specialists, and there could be an epic battle between Grebennikov, arguably the best, and Shoji for the USA, and their performances today, Mark, could be key in the outcomes of these matches.
These are two really wonderful players. They are liberos. They don't play in every facet of the game, but these are two of the guys that understand the game the best. Both of them come from volleyball families. They're sons of coaches, and you can really see that when they're playing the game.
Two players that absolutely love to get in there, to make those digs, and, well, Shoji just taking a chance for a hitter to have a hit away in the warm-up. But that being said, cannot take away from his ability to play defense, his ability to pass. Well, the warm-up over, the team's now onto the sidelines as we will get ready for the national anthems. The first referee leading the teams out onto court. Flag bearers coming in, and it is time for the national anthems for both countries. We'll start with the USA and we will finish with France.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem of the United States of America.
Mesdames et messieurs, veuillez maintenant vous lever pour les hymnes nationaux, en commençant par l'hymne national des États-Unis d'Amérique.
Now, the national anthem of France.
Et maintenant, mesdames et messieurs, place à l'hymne national de la France. Mesdames et messieurs, la Marseillaise.
Another rousing rendition of the national anthem for France. The team have been hearing that all week here in Lille. inspiring them on. Will it inspire them on one more time to a victory to put them into the final? The first referee today from Brazil, Paulo Turchi. And the second referee today, the very experienced Andrej Zenovic, has been on the international circuit since 1995. Referees introduced. We're now going to meet the players.
And would there be any surprises?
Certainly not. We would hope not. We never know. Well, that's got the crowd warmed up and ready. And now we'll see who the coaches have decided will be the team to get the job done for them, starting with the USA. So it's Matt Anderson, number 1, who will be getting the nod. Whether he plays opposite or not, we'll find out very shortly when we see who else is coming out onto court for the USA. Micah Christensen is involved, then it's Taylor Sander, who is going to be through the opposite, through the outside slot. Will he be joined by Aaron Russell? It doesn't look like it. It's Micah Christensen coming out as the starting setter. Maxwell Holtz, number 12, coming out to play middle. And Ben Patch, he's got some dance moves as he gets himself out onto court. So it's looking like, in fact it is, as Anderson playing outside with Sander, Patch in the opposite slot, through the middle Smith and Holt with Christensen setting. And that means that Russell is on the bench for now.
And we see Taylor Sander back from his little what turns out to be just a tweak on during Thursday's game. So it's great to see him back in the US at full strength.
France are on their way out onto the court. It's the captain, Benjamin Toniutti, who is going to be setting. Followed by Evan Engepeth through the outside, number 9. Kevin Leroux, number 10, goes through the middle. Number 12, Stefan Boyer, will be in the opposite slot. It's Nicholas Legoff, number 14, who will be going through the middle. And Thibaut Rossard, the lefty, playing through the outside, number 18. And Janaya Grebenikov is the starting libero. It is the strongest team that France can put on court.
It certainly is. They started the tournament with Tilly in the outside position. Rossard took over that slot early on in the match against Brazil, and he's held it through the rest of the until today with really good performances, especially in serve, where he's been a dominant force.
This is how they're going to be lining up. Holtz is at position 2 in the front row. Sander starting in the back row at 1. And they're starting with Christensen at 3 in the front row. Slight change for the USA from what they've been doing during the week. And Toniutti is starting as he is also actually starting at 3. He started at 6 in the game yesterday. So a few changes in the rotations. We'll see how that affects the teams as the match goes on.
Both coaches are obviously looking for some particular matchup of spikers against blockers. We'll see as the game progresses what they are and if they're successful.
Taylor Sander serving for the USA in red, and it's France in all blue looking to get side out, which they do, as we get the first semi-final from the FIVB Men's Volleyball Nations League underway here in Lille. Le Goff goes back to the serving line.
As in the other matches, US started with an easier serve. French took advantage.
USA straight away establishing their middle.
Two actions in a row where the defender's got a really good piece of the ball, but not quite enough to keep it in play. Both teams are really on fire already.
It'll be USA ball.
First contact for Engepet. Sets a little bit short. He's gone for the tip. Good cover by Leroux. And Engepet was a little bit ambitious there to try to set that one. Strong serve from Holt. Boyer gets on the board with that one down the line. Good start for him.
Toniuti with the serve. USA get their side out.
They play with a be quick this time to create some space next to the middle blocker. And Smith deals with a set that's not quite high, but in a great position.
Christensen has a good jump serve on him, but he hasn't quite got it working for the moment. When you're playing at home, like France are for this, and with your experience of playing at home with the Australian team, how do you go about dealing with that kind of situation as a team? Good dig. Well, that's a great finish from Rossard.
Good defense by Grebenikov. Rossard goes high off the outside blocker. To go back to your question, Clayton, one of the biggest problems playing at home is the number of distractions, the number of friends and family who want a little piece of your time. That'll be would have been a big issue for the French this weekend.
Certainly some of those friends and family are here watching, wishing the very best for their team. That's come off the French as it goes out of play, so the USA will take the point. Anderson with it.
It's a really tough serve from Engepet. For America has barely kept that in play, but it's a really great high ball hit from Anderson high into the long corner, just touching the top of the block.
That's a good lead from France.
The Americans like to push their serve. In other matches, they've started by taking a little bit off it. Today, they're going flat out from close to the beginning.
Leroux. Oh, nice blocking from Rossard and Le Goff to shut down Patch.
The reception from Shoji was a little bit too low. The setter can't make all his normal choices. Le Goff is way over the net there. He could read the ball early, and Patch had no chance.
Oh, that was an opportunity. Shoji had that, but Christensen dived in front of him and took it away from the possibility of recycling the ball.
Sanders thought he'd seen a little space on the line. There was a little space on the line, but the set wasn't quite wide enough for him to try that shot.
It's a good serving run this from France. Leroux. It comes to an end, but France have given themselves a little bit of daylight already in this first set.
French are really well prepared for US attack. The block's been in excellent position every time so far. We'll see how long they can keep that level of discipline.
Smith. The Goff gets something on it. Well, it's been given as coming as out of play, but that was going to be a let because it came over behind the referee.
I really didn't know what the ref was going to try and call there. I thought maybe it hit him and he's called it over, called it out on that basis, but he's just blown his whistle too early. He's expected that ball's gone over the antenna, but Le Goff has made a great play to keep it in play. It's a tough break for the Americans because they had a breakpoint opportunity and a free ball. They earned a free ball from it. Now the French have a second chance. There it is. Le Goff is outside the court. He barely gets it back, and Grebennikov makes a great play to put it over. And somehow the Americans end up at a disadvantage through the referee's mistake.
Well, Smith convinced that it should have been their point. It just means that he has to go again.
This puts a lot of pressure on the server. Having made a great serve on the first one, he's on a hiding to nothing on the second serve.
He's put a good serve in. It's dealt with by Rossard. And that's an unforced error, so the USA get their point.
You see again how the low reception puts pressure on the setter. This time Tognuti has to underarm set. Rossard goes for the top of the block, but the margin there is really low, and he hits it out the back.
Nice swing, Rossard.
Great read in reception from Engapet. Gave Tognuti the chance to jump set. The set gets all the way to the antenna, and Rossard loves to hit it on the line if the space is open.
As that one goes to the line, the teams head to the benches. It's 8-6 for France at the first technical timeout.
It's a well-matched opening from both teams. A couple of little chances from strong serving. France hold a slight advantage.
Great view from the overhead camera. This magnificent stadium, the majority of which, as can be expected, supporting France here. Boyer with the serve. Easily dealt with by Anderson. And a modern era swing hit, passing and then going on the pipe.
Yeah, that serve straight down the middle of the court, puts no pressure on Anderson, and he has a direct approach down the middle of the court, and for a player of his caliber, that's a guaranteed point.
The pipe attack, one of the USA's big threats, and if they can get that going, it could be a real problem for France, and they'll be delighted with those types of errors to give them points they don't have to work for. Rossard now with the serve.
Look for the serve between position 5 and 6 here.
Don't just look for it, let's see that again. Ace serve from Rossard, brilliant.
The receivers would absolutely have been expecting that. That's his favourite serve. He's the leading ace scorer for the final series so far.
Another serve that's putting USA under pressure. Great pickup by Shoji. And Sander doing really well, wrapping it off the block. Rossard not deep enough perhaps at 6 to defend that one.
It's another great serve from Brossard, actually better than the first, but this set is a great set. Let Sander see the block, and it's from his height in attack that's easy to hit off that part of the blocker's hands.
Sander now to serve for the USA. Oh, Boyer did well to get out of the way of that.
Sometimes the opposite, not paying attention, can get hit by the serve that's going out. Not that time for Boyer.
Legoff now for France. Nice swinging from the USA. But at the moment, though, they can't get back at France. France keeping them at arm's length.
It's a really high contact from Patch. Engapeth tries to cut off the cross-court shot, but Patch is too high. Goes over his hands.
Sander gets enough on it to keep it in play. Now Engapeth. Oh, lovely, just brilliant. You just felt that as Engapeth dug that, he was going to be a threat, and great work from Tonyuti to go behind instead.
David Smith thought that too. He's taken already one step out to Engapeth. Tonyuti sets the short distance, and Boyer streams onto it.
Nice play from Anderson, squeezing that one by the block.
When the setter sets the short distance there, it's hard for the blockers to get over the net in time. They're flying a little bit. Anderson gets it through the seam.
That's an easy lead for Grebennikov.
Christensen has both variations on the serve there. He can hit that one top spin, he can hit it float. So far he has one error with each variation.
Engapeth. Nice pass from Soji. Good up. And it's block out Boyer. Engapeth instrumental in France taking that point.
So good swing by Anderson from position 2 to start it. Engapeth though makes a great defense. Grebennikov keeps the tempo fast towards Boyer. And Boyer can play it into the arms of the block where the blockers have no control. Most of the time you get a favorable rebound.
USA calling the timeout.
We're good. Yeah. We made some great plays. Just keep making some good plays. Side out here. Score real.
Pretty simple stuff from John Spurall. Talking about just keeping it going, making some great plays.
At this point in the match, you can't really talk too much about tactics because neither team has shown all the things they're going to do. Just need a reminder about the things that you planned to do before, to have a breather, to refocus. There's a long way to go in this set.
It's Engapeth to serve for France. It's an ace serve for Engapeth and a point for France.
He's ripped that one cross court. That's pretty close to the line. I'm sure the Americans' first thought was that hopefully that's out, but I think we'll see here that it wasn't even close.
That one wasn't even close to going in, unfortunately, that time. But you did mention this earlier here in the finals, Mark, that you'll take that any time, an ace serve and then a miss serve or a point that's not one.
If you can get 50% aces, then 50% errors is perfectly acceptable.
That's a heavy serve from Anderson. And an even heavier hit from Rossard to get block out.
The American block were right on that. It's a really good block, but the angle of the left-hander against the outside blocker makes the rebound come back out on the far side. The Americans will be happy with that block.
Into the second technical, France leading by 5. Well, here's some of the action so far. High-level volleyball, as we would expect from these excellent players. It's Leroux with the serve for France. They're leading by 5 in this first set of this first semi-final of the finals here in Lille from the Volleyball Nations League, and it's a massive commit block from Le Goff.
Le Goff took the risk there, and it really paid off. So far over the net that Smith doesn't have a really good angle. Perhaps if he'd gone straight on his approach, he could have got the ball to go block out, but not on that one.
Leroux with the serve again. Oh, and it's an unforced error from Sander. Christensen not trying to re-establish Smith. He had that opportunity. Decided to go out wide.
That play started from the serving tactics of Leroux and the French. He's gone the short serve to position 5 on the first one after the timeout. The second time the short serve to position 2. Ball coming over the shoulder of the setter puts pressure on him to make a good set. And Sander wails that one out.
There's all kinds of work we can do right now, right? Okay? So just keep thinking about how you want to pick at them, scheme, tactics, all good here, okay?
There's some slow-mo action from the 2 cameras under the net. Another addition to the coverage being provided here at the finals. But interestingly, haven't seen the USA have this much of a deficit in a set for some time.
Certainly not in this event.
Well, Leroux went for that one with a big grunt and arm swing. Not troubling the USA, though. Smith now with the serve. Brilliant from Le Goff.
Engapet's control on the first contact was great there. It's the be quick set. It's between the blockers. And Le Goff has an easy put away over Holt.
The referee's given a touch off the block, even though the ball was out, so it didn't matter where it went after that.
It's a great hit from Sander. He has Tognuti in front of him. He knows that if he hits high and deep, he has a really good chance of scoring, and he does there.
Not enough players bringing service pressure to France in this first set from the USA.
Now this time, will they be ready for the serve between 5 and 6?
Shoji with a good pass and a decent put away from Patch.
We've seen the net tape create lots of problems with receivers in this event. Shoji handles it with aplomb. And that's the second time that Patch has gone on that little angle to half cross court, this time between the blockers.
You just get the feeling watching this USA haven't been able to really create any rhythm in this first set. It's been very stilted the way they've been playing.
And they're attempting to create so much pressure with the serve. can sometimes have a run of errors. I have no feeling for the game, but that can change really fast.
Maybe that's the change we needed, and the USA needed another brilliant pipe attack.
Le Goff has served that ball to position 1 so that Sander can't hit the pipe, but the serve is so easy that he has time to run all the way around, almost to position 5, and there's no blocker that's going to touch that ball.
Holt gets the overpass. Smith decides against swinging on it. So Anderson gets the chance instead and puts the ball away.
Christensen knows that Tonyuti's in the front row there. He knows that Anderson against Tonyuti is a mismatch for him, and he gets it out there as fast as he can. And Anderson doesn't let him down.
Early call, good leave by France there on the road to first set victory.
US have nothing to lose on the challenge here. It's more than likely out, but every so often you get one of those. But not today. At least, if nothing else, he had a little break in the play to break the rhythm of the French team.
Great blocking from Boyer. Smith can't find a way through at the moment for the USA.
The middle blocker was ready to go back there, left actually one-on-one with 2 spikers, but Boyer in position 2 reads that really well.
This time, Christensen goes back to Smith, who's putting it on the floor.
It's the 4th or 5th short serve from France. They obviously see something there. Again, it's Boyer against Smith, but this time Smith makes no mistake.
Rossard was up. He was just waiting for that ball to pick his spot as where he was going to hammer it down. And it brings up set point for France.
Leroux runs the be quick there to make the middle blockers move a little bit and gives the open space for Rossard to score.
Patch with real aggression on that swing through the outside.
He's really high on that. Through the top of the spiker's hands. Really impressive swing from Patch.
One side out required. 5 opportunities to get it done for France. Only 1 required. Leroux puts it down. France take the first set, 25-18 here in the semi-finals in Lille.
That's a great play between Tonyuti and Leroux. There's a couple of things that normally only come out of the playbook when you're way up in a set. That's one of them. The first tempo behind when the setter's on the 3-meter line. And then Leroux scores to win the first set for France.
Just the start France wanted, just the start the fans wanted. Just the start that Mrs. Tilley wanted as well. Her husband getting the first set for the team, with the team. Here are the stats from that first set. Well, interesting, USA with 9 errors. France kept it pretty low. France definitely out-blocking the USA.
A lot of those errors were service errors. Again, the aces don't tell the story of the whole game. French obviously came in with a plan. They've been serving short to reduce the spike approaches of the outside guys. And their block's been able to take advantage with 4 blocks to 1.
And we can take advantage now of the highlights from the first set. So this is France's aces from Engapeth and Rossard. And then the serves that were returned. Really going around that 5-6 area, as you mentioned, and similar thing for the USA as well.
A lot of serves in the middle of the court for both teams, which often happens when you're trying to serve as strong as hard as you can.
No changes for either side as we get ready for set number 2. Rossard with the serve. Excellent ball in. Oh, that's more like it for the USA. That's what they're all about.
The US will be really happy with that start. They've taken Rossard's best serve. Shoji's nailed it. And there they have the pipe, which is their favourite play. Sander makes no mistake.
Holt for the US. Engapeth gets past Christensen.
The same sequence in return. Great serve, great reception from the libero. And the French go with their favourite option. Engapeth against Christensen.
Great pickup. And a brilliant return. It's almost a different USA that stepped on the court for set 2.
That's volleyball at its absolute finest. Engapeth really gets behind that ball that gives him a chance to swing. Patch goes over Engapeth where he has no chance on that play.
Free swing of 4 for Engapeth as Patch and Smith went with the middle.
A bit of classic setter action there. LaRue runs the be quick. Tognuti delays his hand movement. Both blockers bite on the fake and Engapeth scores with no block. Took a time out without calling on.
Nice side out. Well, we've got some great technology here in the stadium, and there's a couple of new additions which were being used whilst the fans were having a look at that last play. And John Spurall just took that opportunity to have a chat with his players in the meantime. And it did work. They have their side out. Anderson now with the serve. Clever play from Boyer.
Every team will serve in this French rotation to Engapeth in position 1. They want to make it as hard for him to hit as possible. Boyer, though, is up to the challenge there and just pushes it off Patch's hands.
It's a good ball from Shoji. Yes, that ball had clipped the net from the serve, but it's been given as out. There's going to be an immediate challenge. The ball in, ball out by the USA.
The US are very adamant there. It's a great shot by Sander, just past the block. I think that it is in, but I'm not sure that it's as obviously in as Sander seemed to think.
Hawkeye have made a quick decision. Here it is. Miles in.
Not even sure why there was a doubt.
Smith for the USA. Up by 1, trailing by 1 set to nothing. Great ball from Grebennikov. Unfortunately for the USA, kicked under the net on France's side. But we talked about the Libros at the start of this game, and they really are proving to be worth their weight in gold.
Yeah, both of the Libros have given their setters a platform from which to work. American middle's late there. Boyer has a free swing.
France slow the ball down. Goff bounces it in the 3-meter line.
That time the Americans didn't bite on the fake because it wasn't a fake. They didn't jump, and Le Goff has a free swing. Ensing's in to replace Patch.
That might stay in play. Oh, goodness me, Leroux stopped, and he was the closest. Toniutti just not tall enough in the end as he went after it.
It's a great swing by Sander. Good play by Rossard to hit it into the net. Actually keeps it alive, but Leroux was too far away from it to change direction.
Kyle Ensing's on for serving duty for the US. Well, it never really looked as if Ensing would get a swing, and that reduced one of the USA's options. It didn't matter, though, because the pipe did its job.
Yep, the pipe really did its job. The first contact in defense made it easy for Christensen. The block has to pay attention to Holt, but can't get onto Anderson fast enough.
Another good serve from Ensing. Oh, that's a beauty from Rossard. He's over the block and into the corner.
You can sometimes have success against Rossard by blocking the line, but if he hits this high, it doesn't really matter. It's a perfect combination of everything.
Boyer now for France. Overpassed. Le Goff buries it. France back in this set.
You'd have to call that a reception error from Sander. It's right in his platform. Not as hard as some serves. Le Goff makes no mistake with the overpass.
Not coming back. Sanders aced. France moved to 2 in front as we head into the first technical timeout.
It's not often you see at this level one error followed by another error. Sander missed the first one and then the second one, and he'll be really disappointed with himself for that.
Keep talking tactics, keep staying external, and keep talking about where to go with the serve and how we're going to defend, right? Every single time, next point on them, all right? Okay? All right. Yeah.
The on-court announcer doing a great job of getting the fans involved. And what a view that is.
I remember the days we used to do that with cigarette lighters.
Yeah. So, well, that's his technology for you, and the light's not going out. Players are ready to go again, and it's Boyer with the serve. Good put away from Holt. He had to really twist his body to create some space to put that one down.
The short serve to a receiver can cause problems, but the short serve to the libero doesn't normally. Shoji nails it. First tempo, Holt, bang, US back in rhythm.
Just looking at that with my mouth agape, thinking that was incredible. Just made it look so easy.
The Americans are really focused on stopping the line there, but the middle doesn't close far enough, and the seam is actually an easier ball for the spiker to hit.
Ace serve, Rossard. He's generating so much power with some great technique.
He really is. He has a super high toss, which gives him time to generate a lot of power. He has some good control between the different areas. He served most of his aces in the 6-5 area. At that time, he's got it on the other side, which is not where the receivers are expecting it.
Time for us to start executing here, okay?
Makes it doubly difficult.
Execution. Time to start dialing it in, getting aggressive, and getting over the net. Let's go. 1, 2, 3.
We've seen some fast serves at the Volleyball Nations League this year, and that one from Rossard up there in the top 5 might even squeak into the top 3. We had 134. That last one from Rossard was 128 kilometers an hour.
Wow.
Zaitsev hit a 134 kilometer an hour serve for Italy in the prelims. Holtz gets that one away. Actually, a few of your guys have hit a few heavy serves, haven't they?
As we see Max Holt get the swing against Legoff. Yes, Lincoln Williams against Iran got one to 127. Nearly sent the guy into next week.
Holt with the serve. Good leave by Rossard.
That was pretty close. The Americans are still trying to force their serve.
Boyer makes a good dig. No carry called, and it's Engapeth who puts the ball over the block.
Brings a smile to Tilly's face. It's a good cover by Legoff. It's really the obvious play for Engapeth. The ball's fast. If he had to set it, it would have been a difficult set. He just drops it over into the open space.
Great blocking. USA's middle really hasn't functioned like they would want it to in this match.
LaRue's really focused on the first tempo. He only had eyes for Smith. His timing of his move was just enough that Christensen couldn't see it, and Smith was left with no space.
Chinanese in the picture. He's injured, hasn't played here in the finals. But France, with the greatest respect to him, aren't missing him.
No, they haven't missed a beat in the middle. Chinanese was one of their starting middles for most of the event. He unfortunately injured himself after the team lists had to be presented on Wednesday afternoon. And so he's not able to take part in the games, but he'll be enjoying it from his seat on the bench. With his feet up, enjoying the action.
Legoff serve. Oh, well, it had gone through the antenna on the way over. Toniutti was then not at liberty to go and play the ball.
It's a really good play from Anderson. He's leading the way for his team. Toniutti does pretty well to get it, but Engapeth didn't get the third one over the net anyway. So there was Sander on the pipe.
Brilliant from LaRue.
In the preview, I talked about the US being a team that like to play from the middle out and the French more from the outside in. The French have really been dominating the middle part of the net in this game.
Little roller from Ensing, who's kept his place on court. Patch staying on the bench, and actually there's going to be another change here for the USA. We have a look at the replay of that last roll shot from Ensing.
Yeah, the set was a little bit low for him to have a full swing, so he's abbreviated the swing with great feel and control over the block into the middle of the court.
And the substitution, Russell has come on, Sander has gone off. It doesn't change what France are doing, though.
It's their favourite set in that rotation. Engapet. Smith was waiting too long on the middle. Engapet can hit a cross court off the late middle.
Hit hard enough by Anderson to see it go over that baseline.
LaRue was really waiting for that pipe, though. He got a good piece of it, but Anderson had enough height and power that it goes out to his advantage.
It's a good lead from Rossard. That one was looking for the corner, and Sporor's going to challenge it.
I think they've had a couple of serves on the baseline that have been really close. On another day, they might have had 3 aces here. They're hoping that this will be one, but not.
Into the second technical timeout. France with a big lead.
Might end up making an emergency move out there, so. One at a time, boys. Yeah, let's go.
Timeout, you saw John Sporor keeping it brief in his instructions to the team. And then the players, his experienced guys, talk amongst themselves. They know how they can affect the game.
The ball from Shoji. That one is up into the crowd on a wonderful swing by the USA.
Christensen's really trying to force the pipe a little bit now. Anderson is really tough to stop in that position.
France not worried by that serve.
Still the Americans are trying to keep the pressure high, but without any success.
Well, that's still in play. No celebration just yet. And still none. Engapeth with the error. And the USA's hustle comes good.
The Americans put the free ball over to position 1 so that Engapeth wouldn't be able to hit the pipe. He had to run a long way, and just by putting in that position, they've created enough difficulty that looks like he's made an error, but maybe not.
Well, what's happened is the referee's given for a block touch against the USA and given France the point. So it's been a challenge by the US, who don't think it did touch anybody. Well, wasn't close to anyone at all.
Okay. Some things are inexplicable.
Russell with his first serve of the game. Oh, brilliant from Toniutti. I think it could be a challenge as to who touched this one last.
This is going to be a really interesting situation. In the past, this would have always been called in favor of the attacker, who in that case clearly was Toniutti. But sometimes on those balls where the players contact the ball really close to each other, in slow motion you see that the attacker actually contacts the ball last, after it leaves the blocker's hands. There's been quite some discussion about this during the VNL. I can confirm that we lost 3 of these challenges that we thought were right every time.
Just to confirm, it's whoever's touched this ball last as it goes out will lose the point. And that's what they're looking at. They believe that Toniutti in fact touched it last.
And that's what?
What is it? What is it? It's France!
And now we're going to see the discussion.
Well, that did look, didn't it? That Toniutti still had his hands on the ball past Holt.
Yes.
Wow.
And you can see the reactions from the players on the French team, that nobody's really sure how to deal with that situation.
Rossard will have the serve. Well, Russell put in a 3-point pass. Ensing has missed the court. No challenge coming. Sparrow happy it was wide. He's only got 1 left now.
The Americans left a big line open for Ensing there. Sorry, the French left a big line open. Ensing couldn't find the court.
France playing the USA at their own game.
Wow, that swing was really fast. 122 kilometers an hour. That was straight at Russell. He didn't even have a chance to move his hands.
Anderson caught that ball going into his chest. Ball slowed down. Chance here for France to increase the lead. Good up, but it's not going to stay in play. 4 touches not allowed. France do increase their lead.
Christensen was caught in 2 minds there, and there's the great swing by Boyer. Christensen was caught in 2 minds if he was going to be able to play it out of the net or not. He chose to play it before. They couldn't get it over.
Well, Anderson went with the volley. He looked like he was trying to get out quickly, not concentrating on that first pass, and it just caused them more problems.
The serve from the Goffs a little bit in no man's land. Anderson gets confused. The set's too close and too low. And Brizard on for Toniutti is too strong.
That's not going to come back. USA have a side out, but France in a commanding position here just need 3 points to have a 2-0 lead.
Ensing really just guides the ball over the top of the block to the long corner. Boyer will be really disappointed he didn't make a better job of that. It's a challenge from France for the 3-meter line, I think. I don't think this one will be successful.
Well, whilst we're having a wait for that, with Patch having gone off as opposite Ensing coming in and the way USA are playing, we have a good look at this first before I'm going to ask the question. There's no fault. For set 3, perhaps we might see Anderson go into the opposite and Russell and Sander play through the outside.
I have to say that when they made that substitution. That was my very first thought, was that the third set they'll put Anderson opposite. Taking Sander off though for Russell makes me wonder if they really have that option if Sander's 100% fit.
Something for Sparrow to think about, that's for sure, as this set slips away from him. Toniutti now for France, back in for Brizard. A horrible spin on that ball, which Toniutti just couldn't deal with as he tried to dig it.
Another consideration will be that Anderson's going through a little difficult period in reception. You can see again here, it's not a good reception, but he can fix it with his attack. That'll also be on Sparrow's mind.
Covering by Grubenikov. Rossard just had to make a little adjustment, but he made it well, and it's set point now for France.
I was watching this rally, I knew this was going to go pipe. Leroux was a long way from the setter, taking the middle blocker away. Toniutti saw that. Rossard can score that one without problem.
Well, Engapeth wanted to be cute. He was trying to drop it short. They won't be doing it from serve. They'll be looking to get it done from side out here.
Engapeth normally has a really good short serve, but he went for a bit too much on that one.
Double quick, and Boyer puts the ball down. And just like that, France take the set 25-17. They lead the USA 2-0 here in this semi-final.
This one, reception's not that easy. Again, the Americans are trying to close the line, but Boyer goes over into the seam. The French have been really on fire in all parts of the game. Boyer is the leading scorer with 11. Rossard has 9 points, and Engapeth is almost playing like a receiving specialist. The Americans have a fair bit of work to do now.
Here are the stats from that second set.
Not too many errors from either team. France with a couple of blocks, a couple of aces, but really just dominating in every part of the game.
Here are the highlights from the set. These are the setter contacts for France, and the vast majority exactly where Toniutti wants the ball.
Yeah, 74% in that green stroke yellow area. That means that he can easily play first tempo. The Americans at 60% is still high, but you can see if a few of those are right on the edges of that that area, which makes it more difficult for Christensen to keep his guys in the action. Overall, the serving of the French team has been probably the decisive factor. The Americans have made a lot of mistakes with not nearly as much effect.
Well, the third set's about to get underway, and we asked the question whether or not Sparrow would change his lineup. He has done. Russell and Sander through the outside, and Anderson has gone back to opposite. It's all or nothing here for the USA as they try to claw their way back into this match.
Interesting statistic for the match is that the US team overall are hitting at 63% kills, which is by any measure exceptional. And there's another one from Russell off the block. But the French are hitting at 74% kills, which is some level above exceptional. The difference is the serves that the US have over 33% service errors.
Good covering. Oh, what an angle from Ingapet.
The work was really from Rossard there. That cover was great. The high ball set from Leroux's okay. And Ingapet sees his place in the court where only he can actually get the ball.
Excellent blocking from France. Well, it looked like things were going to go the USA's way. They got a great block, but some great covering. And just off the back of that, France score again.
That reception didn't really give Christensen the chance to do very much. Leroux read it perfectly.
Nice play from Anderson. And the second referee getting a face full of that as it come off the floor.
Took him 2 chances to score. He's really got the nice angle. Ingapet's almost not even in the frame.
Good movement by Grebennikov. And that's got enough on it to go wide of the sideline from Leroux.
Americans will take a little bit of positivity from that. They got a serve. They got a good block in front of Leroux there. On a different day, that one would drop in, but the next one could be closer.
It's a big serve. Oh, that's just brilliant from Anderson.
That said, wasn't in a perfect position. Anderson had to jump a long way forward, but the tip was very, very delicate. Not sure he meant it to hit it exactly there, but it ends up being perfect.
I don't believe for 1 minute Boyer was trying to get that on a pipe attack.
He knows that if he puts it in front of the 3-meter line, somewhere in the middle of the court, that one of the spikers will be able to hit it. That's what he's done. And we've seen that time and again, that ball, if it's high enough, the position 6 guy has a chance to score even against 3 blocks.
And what we also saw as well as Leroux goes back to serve was that he knew that was coming and got out of the way. Holtz puts that one down for the US.
Anderson is normally playing opposite, but he still receives that ball in position 6, puts it on the money, and for the first time in a while, US have got a good series of side outs in a row.
What a dig that was. But it's an unforced error. Well, the USA are getting upset, but they were the ones who were lucky not to get penalised, although Christensen perhaps not happy with what Toniutti was doing in the set earlier, but there was a chance for the US, there was no block.
It's a great play from Smith to keep it alive. Anderson probably went for too much there.
Smith will be happy that one's gone down.
Great tempo. The golf is reading the ball out of the setter's hands, and he's a little bit late.
Is it in the block? No, says the referee. And this is one of those interesting challenges where, since the challenge system came in, and chatting with Hawkeye, they say 9 times out of 10, in that situation, the ball has hit the block, which would, you'd think, prompt the referees not to call for 4 and make the team blocking challenge if they truly believe they didn't touch it.
If the ball goes out of court like that, really, if they're wrong, one of the teams will challenge it. So, in a sense, nothing's lost.
There's a big bruise on Sanders' tricep.
Still, each point has been a little bit less convincing for the French. The Americans are closer here to getting a little series and maybe getting a lead.
Rossard, unusually for him in this match, not finding the court. Well, that will do very nicely. A surfer sander.
That's the first ace for the US in this match. It seems that they've taken a little bit off the serve, and so far they've been rewarded.
Good cover from Boyer. Nowhere for Engapeth to go with that one.
Good cover on the first attack. Engapeth had a plan there where he wanted to hit it, but the block stayed disciplined, didn't fall for any movement of his shoulder. And that's just about as perfect a triple block as you'll see.
For the first time in this match, we go into a technical timeout and the USA have the lead.
That's what we wanted to see as fans. We want to see this game go as long as it can possibly go with the quality that we have here on show. So go USA.
Being completely neutral, as you mentioned, we just want to get those 5 sets, see the best volleyball that we can. But for those of you supporting France, you might be getting a little bit nervy now, though, as USA are making a comeback. And for those of you supporting the USA, as Mark said, go USA, they're back in the game.
Plus, the longer the game lasts, the longer we can watch the fans in action.
This time, Engapeth has somewhere to go, gets the side out for France and levels the match in this 3rd set.
The first good reception the US have had for a while. Smith has to wait to see where the setter's going to set it. He's late getting to it. Engapeth goes sharp cross court.
Good swing from Russell.
Russell's really high. He has the Tonyuti against him. He knows that if he takes it at his highest point, he can really hit anywhere in the court. And that long angle is safe and successful.
That one not bothering Grebennikov.
Smith has changed for the float serve, to keep some pressure on the receivers. That wouldn't be the result that he wanted.
The middles are starting to function again now for the USA.
The Americans are starting to look like a little bit more like their normal selves. It's another good first tempo attack from Holt.
Nice dig. Oh, LaRue had made the touch, but he had no idea where the ball had gone.
That started with a safer serve from Anderson. Finishes with the first tempo from Holt. LaRue didn't quite look in the right direction. And in between, there was an incredible defense by Shoji.
That's a big serve from Anderson. Chance here for the US. And they've taken it. Toniutti diving in front of Grebennikov. Just a little bit of confusion for France as that ball came over.
You can see the Americans' confidence rising with each play. Little tiny bit of confusion now in the French team. The set wasn't great, but Russell is high enough to get onto it. Americans have really picked up their serving, that last error notwithstanding, and are starting to create some pressure on France's side out for the first time.
Ngapeth for France.
He's really struggled to find his serve for the whole tournament. He's had a few aces here and there, but a lot of errors, and he's never looked satisfied with his play from the service line.
Just too far away from Toniutti. It's an ace serve for the USA. France call the timeout. Rossard just couldn't deal with it.
It's a well-placed serve. Made the receiver move a little bit into the seam. Often it's the placement that kills the receiver, not so much the speed.
Fans trying to get behind their team, who are trailing by 4 points in this third set as Russell serves for the USA. That's a good dig. Oh, it's going to be a carry caught against Holt. He won't be happy with that.
It's a good call, it's good play from Holt. He was ready for that ball on top of the net. The Americans have their first decent lead of the match.
Well, that was an opportunity. Anderson out of nowhere, but he can't find the court.
It's normally the opposite, but he's receiving still in position 6, which lets him hit pipe. Normally, you'd say he was just about the best pipe hitter in the world. That's a very rare mistake.
LaRue lets the USA off the hook with that serve. Christensen's having a little look through the net while that rally was still going on, and it's the USA who come up with the point.
That's 2 times in a row the Americans have dug Boyer across court. And that's a great swing by Sander. The set's a little bit shorter than the block was ready for. He jumps, brings him inside the block. You can see the landing position. He more or less has a free swing there, even if it looks like there's a double block.
That's a great serve. But it's an unforced error from Rossard. And now France is going to make a change.
And that's the shot that Rossard's often looking for on the high ball against the line blocker. Went for too small a touch on that occasion and pushed it out.
And that error sends Rossard to the bench. Tilly in. Nice play by Legoff.
So first good reception for a while. Smith was waiting for something that didn't happen, and Legoff has no block. Scores a point.
Great serve. And Tilly into the action early after coming on for Rossard. And France clawing their way back into this set, perhaps.
Dribble pass from Engaped is perfect. Smith doesn't quite make it out there. And Tilly, first hit for 3 days, scores.
That was just an incredibly powerful swing from Anderson.
Yeah, he's just leaned on that down the line. It's a good reception from that serve. And even a player of Grebenikov's level can't defend that.
A desperate attempt by the USA to keep it off the floor, but it's France who take the point.
Americans' block position against Boyer is a little bit better now. The middle blocker closes that, forces him to hit cross court. They've got the last two, they've defended the last 2 times from him, but that time not quite. France make the double sub with Brizard and Patry on.
Well, looked almost too easy for the USA. It was there to be taken, but Russell's made the error.
It's 2 direct errors on the pipe from the US. Didn't seem to be anything wrong with that series.
Anderson doing well from the left side of the court.
It's a good high ball. Patry is a big guy, but Anderson hits high against his hand. He flies a little bit past the target, and the point goes for Anderson.
Well, that's just an incredible block for the USA. Smith wasn't too sure which way it had gone. It was Anderson, I think, that made the block. Indeed, it was.
When you set the ball that close to the net, sometimes the block gets on it early. Anderson against Engapet.
And it's looking ever more likely that the USA are going to take this set now. Timeout called by France.
The move to Anderson as the opposite. Engapet tries to use the height of the gym to keep the ball alive. It's a great hit from Anderson. He sees where the block and the defenders are. With Anderson as opposite, it's given the Americans a slightly different feel and approach to the game. Gives him a little bit more chance to influence it all the way around. He's now the top scorer in the game with 14 points.
Sander with the serve. Boyer is an outlet for France.
The French did the reverse double sub. Donyuti and Boyer back on again. The outside blocker's in a good position, but the middle blocker doesn't close. Boyer can't miss that one.
Well watched by Leroux. Christensen's backcourt, he can't go and play the ball, can't block the ball from coming back over.
A rare reception error from Shoji.
Good side out from the USA. They're keeping France at arm's length in this set. Smith with the serve.
It's going to float again.
That's clever from Donyuti.
That's a really cool play. He knows that the blocker's first move will be to go up so he can hit it low. That's what happened.
Boyer goes over the top with the tip. That's very tight. Anderson with some room. Enough, maybe not enough in the end, as he tried to get the block out.
His head was a little bit far from the antenna to try for the block out. Could have tried to get the ball to his defenders and who are all on the other side of him. They try to keep it, touching it as long as possible. The French feel right now like they have a sniff in this set.
USA having called the timeout, sensing perhaps there's a little bit of danger. Donyuti gets the ball in play. Grebennikov can't keep it off the floor. So the USA take the point.
Setting hold in the middle is normally a pretty safe option. He's one of the best middle hit attackers in the world. The block is a little bit too far, still in the middle. And Grebennikov has no chance.
Nicely done by Boyer.
Americans are still focused a bit on Engaped in that setter in one rotation. Holt was a bit late to react. And Boyer can win with the tip.
Set point then for the USA. Their changed formation has changed their fortunes. Tilly does well to get the block out and saves the first set point. Leroux.
Perfect reception. Even though Christensen's almost 2 meters tall, Tilly can go easily off his hands.
It will be Leroux to serve. Oh, Sander thinks there was a touch.
The linesman and the French say that Sanders hit the ball into the antenna. I have to say something didn't quite seem quite right about that. But the great thing about the challenge is that we'll find out.
Indeed, there was something not quite right about it. Sander hitting the antenna. Another set point save. This is USA's last chance to get it done from side out. Well, it's still in play here. Engapeth. It's out, and the USA take the set, 25-23. France lead 2-1, but this game has just turned on its head here in Lille.
France created exactly the opportunity that they were looking for. It was a good serve from Leroux. They will take that high ball with Engapeth in position 6 every day. But for once, he wasn't able to keep it past the block, and the cover had a chance, but couldn't control it. It's a great set from the US. They changed the lineup to give them a slightly more experienced lineup with Anderson at opposite. Took a little bit of pressure off their serve, cut down their error rates, created a bit more, a few more opportunities for block and defense, which they were able to take enough advantage of to squeak out a 25-23 set win.
France made a few more errors, but it was the USA who come up with a couple more spikes and a couple more serves ultimately.
As with the first 3 sets, the first 2 sets rather, the third set with the serving was the deciding factor. First 2 sets, French with a lot of effect and the Americans with a lot of errors. Third set, Americans with a lot of effect. The French still served well, but then it became more of an evenly matched affair, and America just hit the French at the post.
Here are the highlights from that third set. So this is where the USA put the ball in sets 1 and in sets 2. And a bit more of a spread in set 3.
Yeah, they were able to create a lot more opportunities through their serve. They'll be looking to keep up with that in this fourth set.
Tilly with some work to do as we get this fourth set underway. His team are on the verge of a place in the semis, but they still have a set to win. Oh, brilliant. Well, there was nobody out wide to make a block on Anderson. Tonyuti, no chance of stopping that one. What a dig that was from Boyer.
Boyer had to run fast, navigate the linesman, navigate the advertising, and bring it back. But on the second attempt, Anderson had to do with a one-on-one, and he did.
Tilly keeps his place on court for France. And the US keep their new formation the same as it was from the last set. Anderson got past Engapeth easily.
Anderson has really stepped up into this new role. They're looking for him more and more. And so far, he's answering the call.
Leroux with the put away.
It's great reception from Engapeth. It's receiving with only 2 receivers. Once Tonyuti has that reception to work with, it always has an advantage.
That's a lovely swing from Boyer.
Didn't seem like a really, really difficult serve. Russell would be disappointed with that. He doesn't get a second chance.
That was some superb athleticism from Sander. Couldn't have a full swing on it.
They changed their reception. Russell's out of the play. And the pipe is a really good choice. The blockers often aren't expecting the receiver to spike the pipe.
Engapeth. Oh, a little bit of luck as that came back up Holt's head. And it's an error from Tilly, and the USA get themselves a fortuitous point, to say the least.
It's a great block from Leroux, straight back onto Holt's face. Tilly tries to go inside the triple block, but just misses it on the sideline. Americans are playing better overall, but that's 3 missed serves already in this set. They're not carrying on the good work that they did in the third.
Very nice play again. The pace of the attack, the movement from the USA, just brilliant.
Good reception from Russell. The pipe creates a little bit of movement in the block. And Anderson's missed already one that he normally does for the year, so that one's a guaranteed point. Engapet hasn't been a big part of the offense until now. I have a suspicion we're going to see a lot more of him in the second part of this set.
Solid side out from Sander.
Sander's matched up against Tonyuti there. Lagov tries to reach a little bit extra to cover for Tonyuti and ends up going too far so that Sander can score cross court. I'm not sure that the Americans need to go for so much on their serve at this point. They're playing well, they're creating some block and defensive opportunities.
Tilly with the serve. Oh, it's a brilliant angle. Anderson is fired up for this one.
Anderson looks like he wants to be playing in the gold medal match tomorrow, come what may. It looks pretty high against Tonyuti there.
Nice swing by Boyer.
The block is a little bit too wide there for 1-against-1. Smith again stuck in the middle trying to read Tonyuti. So that's a 1-against-1 for Boyers. No problem.
If you're superstitious or believe in these types of things, this could be France's set because they have the lead in the first technical timeout. Everyone who's at the lead in the first technical timeout has gone on to win the set so far.
I think that's a statistic that is guaranteed to repeat itself in the fourth set.
Notre poste 4, aide sur la fixe, le central, vous êtes toujours en réaction. Et l'erreur qu'on fait, c'est qu'on balance les bras là. Restez les bras là. Et on va défendre et on va couper.
I wonder if the teams know that there's no need to play the rest of the set.
I'm sure they do. Can you imagine that? Right, that's it, done. Got the first point, we got the lead.
There's a lot more volleyball left to be played here in this match today.
Absolutely, it's fantastic to watch, and it really has now become an intriguing battle between these two teams. France got off to a flyer, taking the first two sets. Barreau changed his rotation, and the USA took the last set, and now it's even Stevens pretty much here in the fourth. France with their noses in front, McGough with the serve. Good work from Russell.
Serve from Lagov went to Sander to try and take out the pipe. LaRue was already one step towards Russell in the outside, but Russell was too high and too strong.
Good work from Boyer. Tonyuti is being able to find who he wants pretty much now.
It's the first time for a while they've left Boyer some space on the line. It's the first time he's had that. He's taken it straight away. He's having a great game.
It's almost becoming a first tempo attack at times from the USA.
The best, easiest way to block Sander on the pipe with Christensen sometimes is to block with the first tempo and leave your hands high. But that only works if they run in the same space, and this time there was movement from the first tempo to open an alley.
That's a great set. Tonyuti had to really adjust what he was doing to fire that ball out wide.
They're really going after Engapet with the serve here. That time, it's not a really good reception, but Tonyuti and Boyer can solve it. It's a really good adjustment from Boyer. That set was a long way from the antenna.
It's a good ball from Shoji under the circumstances. And a good recovery by Boyer. No carry given, despite USA protesting as he caught the block. Tilly, no, he hasn't, and the USA will have the point. Well, LaRue's telling Tilly, no, don't bother. Tilly's ignoring him and saying, I'm going to challenge.
really close to the top of the block. It's a great set from Tonyuti from that defense.
First challenge in this set.
Not close enough.
No time shut off. Referee decision was right. 10-all.
Russell. Ace, serve, Russell.
It's a good serve from Russell. We've seen really often that serve close to the sideline in position 5 is really difficult for the receivers to respond to. Especially when it starts out of court and moves back again.
Sander, you can just see the difference in the moment with what the USA are trying to do. Everything they're hitting is full on, fully committed.
Yeah, that ball's close to the net. Boyer and LaRue are not small guys out there, but Sander jumps over the top of them.
Timeout called by France as the USA have now gone 2 in front. Russell gets himself ready. Tilly down the front of Holt's block.
It's a good rebound from Tilly, had 2 bad actions in a row. Holt read the play really well, but he doesn't get his hands over the net fast enough.
LaRue now for France. Well watched by Tilly. That was clever play. Stayed focused, stayed disciplined as Christensen was front court.
Been really impressed by LaRue in this game, especially from the service line. He's not a guy who's renowned for serving with control, but he's really put a lot of pressure on the American receivers by serving at 85, maybe 90%, making low error rate, moving the ball around. And we saw that right there.
It's another good serve. Good covering by Sander. Oh, he's just tried a little too hard. Missed the block, missed the court, and now France have got themselves right back in this one. They lead 13-12.
Scored a little bit out of Sanders' normal rhythm in his approach. He tries to go for a little bit too much and overcooks it wide.
It's another cracking serve from LaRue. Brilliant, Engapeth deep to cover. But Boyer doesn't commit, doesn't take the block on. And LaRue was pretty upset with that, actually.
Engapeth really wanted to hit pipe on that play after that defense. Player like Boyer really should take on the middle blocker there. He doesn't need to try to play block out there. America kind of off the hook.
Good readjustment by Tilly. That's a brilliant dig. Good reactions by Christensen. Oh, what an up from Grebennikov.
No way.
No, I don't believe this. This is incredible. Oh, my goodness me. But I think there's going to be a challenge. Tilly may well have touched the net on that play as he put it down. But an incredible rally nonetheless.
Kevin Tilly is having a word with his ex-college coach, John Sparrow there. I actually think if it was me, I would have challenged the centre line fall from Tilly. They've challenged the net touch.
They're also going to need to make sure the ball, if there is a net touch, that the ball was down.
But it's really a great rally with a whole bunch of great defensive actions in a row. One from Tonyuti, one from Tilly, one from Krebenikov, one from Anderson. It's a shame that a rally, or maybe the rally like this has to end with controversy. It's the only way the universe will allow it.
There is no net touch, and there may well have been a foot fault, but they didn't check for that. And you were absolutely right, Mark, to say that's what you thought it could have been. But they were looking at the wrong part of the action. Tilly gets the point. The USA can't believe it.
The challenge referee should actually, according to the rules, look at everything that's in the video. And if he sees it from the video, even if that's not what the challenge is, he should call it.
We got a brief glimpse. It may well have been that the heel of Tilly was shadowing the line as he went down. One thing for sure, he didn't touch the net, and it is a great point. And France will no doubt be spurred on by that. They edge in front now, 14-13. Boyer with the serve. Trebenikov, excellent dig. Tilly is fired up. France are roaring here in Lille.
Tilly really is fired up after that action. Pretty sure he hasn't often screamed at John Sparrow. Got onto that fast down the front of Taylor Sanders' block. But it started with a great defense by Krebenikov. He knew that Sander against Tonyuti at the net, Sander would try to go over him, so he played defense in the spot, over the block. And then it ended up being a great high ball swing from Kevin Tilly.
Well, it's been a real momentum shift in this game. And it's shifted in France's favour.
This is really the volleyball that we were expecting to see from the start of the match. Both teams really at their limit.
Oh, what a serve! That could be a contender for one of the fastest that we've seen.
129.
Into the technical timeout, 16-13. Goodness me.
In the absence of any evidence to the contrary, I'm going to maintain that was 129. Without, I don't believe that.
We've been hard done by. We'll tell you what, Sanders been hard done by. That's off his shoulder.
He was playing for a little bit of topspin. There was no topspin. Just kept rising up on him. All he could do to not get hit in the face.
Boyer serving. National anthem in a cappella. It's another ace serve for Boyer. 2 in a row. France open up a 4-point lead. The USA call timeout. It is all going France's way now.
Boyer's 22nd point for the match. Just moving the serve in different places. The receivers can't prepare for one particular serve. And this time it's Russell who is iced. That long rally that we just had with all the great defensive plays that ended with a challenge could end up being the turning point for the game.
Boyer looking for point number 23. Good ball in. And a very nice put away from Anderson. Tilly was a one-on-one. He didn't get anywhere near him.
It's a great set from Christensen to set the long distance from out there. It's almost a guaranteed one-on-one block in that case. And Anderson makes no mistake. He has 19 points of his own.
Christensen with the serve. That's going to stay in play. Not any longer though. Boyer puts it down. France keep their healthy lead in this set.
It's good play from Anderson. America's not a football nation, but he can still control that ball. And Lauren Tilley's just about at the edge.
They can't seem to do anything wrong. Everything's going their way.
Tilley's come on to replace Rossard, who creates problems with his serve at 120 kilometres an hour. Tilley's has a really good float serve that he can move to different positions. This way he's putting Sander under pressure, creating the next defensive transition opportunity.
France weren't too happy with that ball in the middle by Smith, thinking it was a carry. And it's Anderson who comes up with a point by wiping it off Toniyuti.
The setters will always know where their opposite number is and when they can force the action in that direction. Christensen gave Anderson every chance there.
That's a great pass from Tilly. Well watched by Christensen, but he's out from setting. Engapeth, almost spectacular. Oh, is he okay? He's gone crashing into the scorer's table.
Fantastic rally there. Anderson goes high off the hands of Le Goff there. But firstly was an amazing reception from Tilly. And then the dig from Christensen on Toniyuti looked easy. But it was a really good play.
Well, it's not over just yet. France won't be celebrating just yet. The USA are having a little comeback here. They're making a bigger comeback. Excellent blocking.
It's another good serve from Sander. Against Boyer, the block has to be disciplined. They can't be moving and flying around. And that time, that's a perfect example of how to do it.
France have called timeout. Their lead has been cut to 2. Sander with the serve. Oh, well watched by Toniyuti. That is incredible. Nice pair of hands from Grebennikov.
Smith has been a little at 6s and 7s in block. He's made the prediction that Grebennikov will set to Engapeth. You can see right there, but instead he gives Boyer one-on-one and a point for his tally.
Good work from Russell. But really, for France now, it's about their side out. If they can keep that functioning, they could get themselves through to the final.
Blocks a little bit wide there to cover for Tognuti. Russell has the swing high cross court.
Well, Anderson wasn't in a good place to hit it, had to go with his left hand. France take the point.
Wasn't a really good set from Christensen. He needed to push that a little bit wider. He had an opportunity to set Sander on the pipe. In hindsight, might have been the better option.
Lovely from Anderson, right onto the baseline.
That one's a better set, right in Anderson's wheelhouse. Blocks a little bit too wide, but it doesn't really matter if you swing like that.
Anderson, a player who can come up with a series of aces, with a series of tough serves. Oh, that is just brilliant blocking. Pressure on France now.
All match they serve to Engapet. Tognuiti's played in a different direction. One time Grebenikov receives, he goes straight to Engapet, and Holt is ready for it.
Oh, brilliant from Engapeth. He was in a more difficult situation than he was on the last swing with that one, and he puts it away.
He was expecting a ball at slightly different tempo, but sometimes those are the ones that are easiest to hit. There's the tiniest of seams there between the blockers, and like the great player that he is, he finds that seam.
Not to be from the service line, but still the situation the same. France can keep siding out. They can win this match.
That's exactly what will be going through Laurent Tilly's mind right now. 3 side outs and we're home.
Russell for the USA. There's one of them. Boyer with a beauty cross court.
A few times on difficult situations, Boyer's tried to turn that on the line. This time he's just spiked where his approach has carried him and nearly sent Christensen into the stands with the ball.
Leroux. Oh, no one could move quickly enough once it come off the block. The USA get their side out.
The French block was ready for that first tempo. You can see position 4 is all the way across on the other side of the net, but it wasn't enough. Great reception.
Another big swing from Boyer. And it's now match point for France.
Americans a little bit too focused on the stopping the line. Sander reaches out and gives Boyer his favourite shot.
It'll be Boyer to serve. It's a good serve. And it's a really good side out by Sander.
Grizzard was on for Tognuiti just for that action. But Le Goff doesn't quite close the seam. And they pay the price. First match point saved.
Tognuiti's in 4. It's only 2 front court attackers. Le Goff and Tilly. Boyer on the 10, perhaps Engapeth on the pipe. It's Boyer, but it's picked up by Anderson. Oh, what a dig! Oh, so unlucky for Tilly. He'd made a brilliant dig. He couldn't get it over. What a save that is from the USA. Another match point saved.
The hard part of that rally was the dig from Tilly. He had to get up fast. Wasn't easy to put it over from there. But hopefully he's not still holding that error in his head as Christensen goes back to serve. 2 match points saved.
First to get 2 clears, either going to take the set or take the match. It's an ace serve from Christensen. What a turnaround for the USA.
That's a fantastic serve. He doesn't want to hit that one with speed. He's not trying to beat the radar gun. He just wants to put it close to the line and make it tough for the receiver, and that's as tough as it can be.
Christensen once again. We're going to have a swing for the set here. Sander. Block out. USA take the set. It's all square here in Lille. An amazing turnaround by the USA. They saved 2 match points. And that means now we are heading into a decider.
Was a great fighting effort from the Americans. They were behind for a big part of that set, but they kept their calm, even under a big onslaught from the French guys. The French walked off there with their heads hanging a little bit. I'm sure that in this next 3 minutes, they'll pick themselves up, and we're going to have a really fantastic 5th set.
Well, time to catch your breath. The captain's with the first referee to see who'll serve and who'll have which end. It's a race to 15 now. No technical timeouts in this deciding set. The teams will change ends once one team gets to 8 points, and we will, well, we'll see come the end of this who's going to go through to the final. It was looking like it was going to be France after the first 2 sets, and then the USA changed their lineup and they took the third. But then it still looked like France were going to be going through to the final, having had 2 match points in that last set, but they weren't able to convert. Here are the stats from the set. In fact, the USA made more errors than France, but had many more spikes.
With their serving, the Americans made more errors in every set, I think. They started pretty slowly on the service line after a really good 3rd set, but picked it up towards the end, and with their serve, they're able to get back.
Here are the highlights from that magnificent set. Fifth set, about to get underway. Tilly keeps his place on court for France. Smith will serve. Which way is it going to go? Strap in, we're about to find out.
I am strapped.
great start. Real confidence booster for France to get them back in the groove.
That time the American blockers didn't move. And Boy has just gone high off the left hand.
Le Goff. Nice work by Russell.
Leroux's a little bit late. His hands aren't in a good position. Anderson's top scorer for the US.
Recovering by Boyer. Oh.
No way.
I don't believe it. Well, Russell thinks there was a touch, but that's just incredible from Engapeth. He was almost skittled out. He off the court and then does well to get out of the way of it.
Gets a burpee in as an extra work.
Oh, good dig. Lovely. That's more like it from Engapeth, but brilliant play from Grebennikov.
The dig is incredible. The high ball block is good. The set is good. The spike is good. The volleyball is good.
Russell's tried to miss the block. It's been given as out. There is a challenge coming. No, it's not. It's just a timeout.
Tonyuti's put that serve really close to the line to make sure that Russell receives it. Set is pretty good. He's gone for the high hands. Hasn't missed that by a long way.
Hey, we just did a great job on Engapeth. You know, we did get a break right there.
Really shows that he's nearly as good as Engapeth at getting out of the way.
He did go quick a little bit to start off in this set last time, but you know, I think at this point, look for Boyer to get a ball here. Right there.
Well, if any photographer's got the shot of that ball going under Engapeth's legs while he's doing a star jump mid-air, that's going to be one everyone will want to see. What a game, and what a start for France in this deciding set. They're 3 to the good here. It might be 4. It is 4 to the good as Russell shanks it into Holt.
Tonyuti has seen an area of weakness in the reception. And he's pretty remorseless in going after it. This time Russell's going to get out of the way. Sandra will receive it.
It's on the side of the USA. It's an illegal play by Engapeth. Just was kind of hoping maybe Tonyuti would have gone across to the other side as Sandra pushed so far over.
At the very least, they could have had in memory that the last time that happened, Christensen also set Sandra the pipe.
Perfect pass. But not the perfect swing from Engapeth, who had to change his hands.
Set was a little bit away from where he wanted. He was steaming in. Perhaps a little bit too early. He couldn't get it with his right hand.
Russell once again. A foot fault from Russell. Cheap point for France. Engapeth will serve. It's a free ball here for France. 3 front court attacking options plus the pipe, and Engapeth is blocked. They knew it was coming.
It's a little frustration in the face of Tonyuti. It's made a pretty good option. The Americans have read it. It wasn't enough. 7-3 would have been a great lead. 6-4 still a good one.
Holt trying to reduce it to 6-5, 5-6. They might well do. They have done. Sander hammers down the overpass. Tilly is letting it ride. He's not calling a timeout. Holt will serve again, trying to get the USA level. It's not to be. Good work from Boyer to put the ball away.
Smith is a little late to come across again. Boyer lets his jump take him inside of Sanders' block for his 28th point.
Oh, brilliant. There's no challenge coming. Play continues. Another magnificent dig.
What a great set.
Everybody giving it everything. And it's a net touch by Tilly. France lose the point. Well, a round of applause from everybody. It's a mega rally. Enjoy it again.
Good save by Smith. It's a great dig by Anderson. Incredible by Engapet. Great swing by Boyer. I can just go on and on. French are a little bit frustrated here. And the long rallies, it's the most difficult moments to stay disciplined.
Still though, France have the lead. Christensen with the serve. France don't have the lead. Sander bouncing that one almost up into the roof. What a game, what a game.
Certainly had something of everything in it.
On va pas se crisper, les gars. Les gars, il faut pas se
6-2.
crisper. D'accord?
Time eventually called at 7.
On n'a pas besoin de chercher la force. On va chercher la finesse, on va chercher la vitesse. D'accord? Ok? Allez, on garde et on rentre.
USA's fighting spirit shining through here in Lille. 2-0 down, back to 2-all, all square in the fifth. Christensen with the serve. Boyer puts France back in front, and the teams now will change ends.
Smith knew where that one was going. The block is in a pretty good spot. Boyer steps into it. And that angle is really tough to defend. .29 points for Boyer.
His serve. Oh, close. No cigar. Might be a challenge, will there? Just checking how many got left. So he was having a little chat with the assistant, but no challenge coming. Oh, that was nice. Very nice.
It's a great transition. It was a really smart play from Tonyuti to keep it alive after the overpass. And nice first tempo point by Legov against the double block.
What a reach from Legov. He was miles up.
You see that one from setters often, but from middle blockers turning around, that's a really smart play. Again, it's the obvious play.
We're gonna do it again. Okay, we're gonna have
Would have been more difficult to set that ball.
We're gonna dig, work hard, good tendencies. It's about good
Now
defensive
France
spots,
have a two-point break again.
and good hands. Let's get good hands here and stuff some ball. Here we go. 1, 2, 3,
This is where the players, you see, get the best out of them, draws the best out of them in these situations. Tilly, right, involved in everything. He's feeling it, every touch, every point. The play from Anderson.
That reception was close to the net. Christensen did a great job to not just get his hands on it, but to make a perfect set. Anderson shows his quality. Almost emotion from John Spurwell there.
It's all about keeping calm, keeping focused, not getting lost in the moment. Brizard's coming in for Tonyuti. A blocking substitution for France. Legov back to the serving line. But it's still anyone's for the taking. Good touch by Tilly, but not going to come back. He couldn't quite get what he wanted to bring it back into court. Legov did well not to hurt himself.
Pretty good contact by Tilly there. Those LED boards are actually really rough. Wouldn't be surprised if he has a little graze somewhere after that.
The pass from Engapeth. Massive block from the USA. And they're back in it again.
The Americans have been trying to block Boyer on the line for the whole game. Most of the time they've opened up the seam, which he's taken. This time they've closed the line. He's tried to score it anyway. We have ourselves a tie.
Boyer was blocked. And he's come right back. Well, that looks at Christensen without any thought to his own safety, chasing after that. He was lucky not to hurt himself.
Boyer learned his lesson. He's gone cross court. Anderson couldn't quite control it well enough.
You don't know what's behind those advertising hoardings, and he was really lucky not to have landed on the stuff right just behind it.
Yep.
Good serve,
Tonyuti. By Tonyuti. That's the one you wanted, Clayton.
Is it in? Is it out? It's given us out. There could be a challenge. Will there be a challenge? No, there isn't. It is way wide of the line. And that serve from Tonyuti just putting pressure over on Anderson. They've taken him out of the serve receive now. Grebennikov keeps it alive. Free ball for the USA. And Russell hammers it to the floor. What a game this is. the level just seems to keep getting better and better.
That's Russell's favourite shot, high into the seam between the blockers. With his athleticism, that always gives him advantage, and the point for USA.
Russell went for it, the nets denied him, and France have their third match point.
Enkepet's just had a big breathe in, breathe out, a word from Grubenikov. He hasn't served well today.
It is Enkepeth with the ball. The crowd are on their feet. It's a good serve, it's well passed. And it's been missed by Sander, but did that catch the block? They're not looking for that, they're looking for in or out. But is it all over? It's gone down to the challenge system to see whether the crowd can go crazy or not.
Tilly, who was the closest receiver, has gone straight back to receive.
Oh, well, look at that, right on the tee of the 3-meter line. What a swing.
Fearless swing from Sander to try to turn it inside LaRue's block.
This is it now, one side out. They don't want to go to 14 all, they went to 24 all in the fourth. Holt with the serve for the USA.
Fourth match point for France.
Tilly for France. Boyer puts it down. France go crazy. They've beaten the USA by 3 sets to 2, 15-13 in a decider. What a memorable match this has become. What a great game.
This was a really great game. There's a little bit of vindication for Kevin Tilly. He had a tough end to the fourth set. He's getting a hug from Enkepet now. He didn't score that last point, but he created the overpass. Boyer's maybe the player of the match with 31 points. He fittingly scores the last point.
What was just, you might have been thinking that ball's popped up. He didn't think anything other than just get it on the floor. And then everyone could go crazy and celebrate the victory. Particularly the fans, fantastic scenes.
The stadium filled up even during the game. It's almost full here. They've seen an incredible match. The US will be bitterly disappointed, of course, but they've had a really positive addition to this spectacle. They've come back from 0-2. They've come back from match point down in the fourth set. They've got it to 15-13 in the fifth, but today they weren't quite good enough. Tomorrow, if we played the same game, they'd probably win it. Such as the level and the closeness between these teams.
An epic game of volleyball here in Lille. The first semi-final decided. France will be playing for gold. The USA will be contesting bronze. We still have one more game to come.
That game's only between Brazil and Russia for a place to play against France in the final. Somehow it's going to feel like an anticlimax.
Here the match stats overall, 112 to 100 in the end for France.
If you look at it over 5 sets, the stats show that France was clearly the better team, but the game is played as a best of 5 sets. They were better in 3 sets just. America were better in 2 sets just, and that's the way that it works out.
They can enjoy their moment, enjoy the celebrations, enjoy the feeling of the victory in front of all these fans. And then they'll get to sit back and watch who will play between, or who will win rather, between Russia and Brazil. They'll get that a little bit longer to recover. A little bit longer to enjoy the moment. hitting on centre court. We can have after the clap. Well, he's just missing. He's going to get involved. Well, we can hear from Stephan Boyer what he has to say, his take on this magnificent game.
After the 2 match points that were lost in the 4th set, you still believed that you can get it?
Yeah, because after the 2 first sets was like for us impossible to lose and to play tomorrow for the 3rd place. So we had to continue to push and to keep confidence in us. And we work really good, like in block defense, in serve also, and was amazing with this public again. And we get what we wanted. Final tomorrow against we will see in front of this gym, and will be amazing.
It was difficult to play because Erwin, for example, got blocked so many times by the Americans. What was your new strategy from then on?
Well, just to spike, like to spike strong and to play. I don't know, like we had lucky sometimes, but we had to go to get it, to get luck. And I don't know what else. Like we play amazing, they play also amazing, and it was a great match.
Do you like the atmosphere here in the gym?
It's going game after game better and better, and I hope tomorrow will be full.
Thanks.
Great words from Boyer. The team enjoying their victory, and so they should. They worked very, very hard for it. Here are the highlights. Well, time for everyone just to catch their breath and think about what we've just witnessed. What we have seen is France beating the USA 3-2. And then to come, as if that wasn't enough, we've got Brazil taking on Russia to see who will be the other team to go into the final tomorrow. USA will be, who'll be playing for bronze. Well, we hope you've enjoyed the volleyball here. It's been breathtaking. We have another one to come. We hope you can join us for that. But until then, from all of us here, myself, Clayton Lucas and Mark Lebedew, it's the end of the broadcast. Thanks for being part of the game.